You had expected to turn up for a photo shoot. Your job is as a model. But actually, what happened was you were attacked.
Yeah, by 2 masked men.
And then describe how that happened.
So I was about to open the studio door because I didn't see anyone, and then someone came from behind, put one arm around my neck and then one on my mouth and my nose with a glove. Then another one rushed around to the front of me, was masked, I could only see his eyes and his mouth. And then he was holding like a syringe, and he pulled up my jacket sleeve, and I was trying to fight back because I just didn't want the syringe to go into me. I was like kicking around. Eventually they managed to tackle me to the ground and then put the needle in me, and then I was completely unconscious from when that needle went in.
When did you then come round?
I woke up when I was in the boot in like a duffel bag, like a black wax bag. There was a little hole for me to breathe. I had tape on my mouth, my hands were handcuffed and my ankles were handcuffed as well, and I'd been stripped of my clothes. I was just in my bodysuit and my socks. So they'd taken my jeans and jacket and hat.
The people who attacked you told you the reason that you'd been attacked?
They didn't speak at the time, but when I got to the house, then a guy came up and explained that it was for sex trafficking.
So you were told at that point you'd been abducted in order to be auctioned as a sex slave?
Yes, and sold.
You gave a series of police interviews afterwards for 13 hours, 3 separate interviews, and you were asked about a tracksuit and shoes that you were wearing when you finally got out. And you told the police you were given them before leaving the house. But then they presented to you evidence that a shopkeeper had confirmed that they'd seen you with one of the kidnappers, buying groceries, buying shoes, laughing and joking, apparently without a care in the world. This has led to a lot of raised eyebrows about why on earth you would go shopping with one of the alleged kidnappers and why you didn't try and make your escape.
I couldn't flee because firstly he was armed, but it's not just because of him. I was completely brainwashed into thinking that there's a whole massive crime organisation against me. So even if I was successful in fleeing, even if I got back to my house, I would still be killed if there was not an official release. Because it was like the 10th hour of the interview, and I was
that
actually...
doesn't explain why you would lie about it.
I didn't lie, I just brushed it off. I just said...
You don't think it's significant that you were out shopping with one of the alleged kidnappers?
Yeah, it was just in a little village. I just brushed it off. I said, I got the tracksuit because he gave it to me, and the shoes, I just don't know.
But do you understand that when, there's been a lot of speculation about this, obviously emphatic denials from the people who've been accused of this, and they remain innocent until proven guilty. But one of the reasons that people, I think, have been sceptical is because this information has come out that you lied to police about a pretty key
But it hasn't
moment.
just emerged, it was already in the police report. So they already knew about that. They're just trying to make me look like a bad person to get readers. That's what... The papers are portraying the story into something it's not, and that's what's creating the doubters.
Well, the papers were portraying you with some scepticism, and then it emerges this week.
But it didn't emerge, it was already out there.
Well, it's been published this week, been reported that you lied to the police, and that's the problem, is that no one can quite get their head round why you would lie to the police about such a key thing.
I just brushed it off. I was shattered completely.
But it's not insignificant, is it, to be going shopping with one of the alleged kidnappers and buying new shoes?
No, but no one understands the reasoning. Unless you're in my position and actually went through what I've been through, no one can tell me how I should have behaved with a kidnapper or how I should be reacting now.
Even when you went and finally they allowed you to go, you ended up going to a cafe for breakfast with one of the alleged kidnappers before you got to the police station.
We arrived in Milan 2 hours before the consulate opened, which his original plan was to drop me 20 minutes away, and then so the cameras don't catch his face. But because we arrived so early, he didn't want to leave me on my own, so we went to the cafe next door.
But you can see again, there's a sort of pattern here. Of...
I can see why people think it's weird, but then in my eyes, he was the guy that saved me from the Romanians. He was the one that stood up for me and defended me. Like, he was not one of the masked men that took me, who he claimed was always Romanians and a driver, and then he was the one that actually came in and stood up for me.
This has obviously been a really tough time for you, because not only have you been through the experience that you describe, you've faced so much publicly.
But it's because how bad what I went through was, this doesn't affect me, the media, so much, because it seemed nothing to me, like a drop in the sea after going through something so bad.
But you understand that a lot of people don't believe you?
I do understand why, but it's the way the papers are portraying it. And eventually it will come out, so...
Right, but it'll also come out that you lied to the police.
I brushed it off, I didn't lie.
You did lie?
I brushed it off.
We didn't brush it off. You lied.
I was tired. I just said I
But Chloe,
don't know
here's
about
the problem.
shoes.
Your idea of brushing it off, you lied.
Well, the police still believe me.
They asked you
so
where
why
did you...
shouldn't
Well,
a few random
but
people?
my point is, it doesn't help you that we now know that when they asked you where did you get these shoes,
I know it
and
doesn't
clothes,
help me, but it
you
will come
said
out in the
They
end.
brought them to the house, and actually, a shopkeeper says she saw you laughing and joking with one of the alleged kidnappers.
I wasn't laughing and joking.
As you bought shoes,
No.
and
That's
then you
not
bought
true. I
groceries.
wasn't laughing and joking.
Do you think there's also, in your experience, a point to be made about how people judge those who talk
I
about
don't think someone should be
this?
judged until the person is convicted, because
You
then...
don't think we should be able to judge you? Given
Well,
that
if
you're...
I was just a 30-year-old woman, like not a model, do you think people would have the same opinions?
No, but
I don't think so.
I think if you're going to conduct media interviews where you're being paid money and you're doing a book for thousands of pounds before there's even been a trial, I think we're perfectly entitled to ask you difficult
Yeah,
questions.
that's fine. I can answer all of them.
Yeah, so you're not being unfairly judged.
No, I don't mind. I can answer
You know,
anything.
you're
I
sitting
don't have
here
anything to
because
hide,
you're
so-
promoting yourself, right?
Yeah, I don't have anything to hide. I want to answer questions.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Okay.
Well, it's a tricky time for you. There's no doubt about that. Chloe Ayling, thank you very much indeed for joining us this morning.